Good morning, good morning. It's great to be back home. Good morning to you. Good morning. I'm Amy and this is A-Star Reads, and it is August and it is time for Pickpongathon. So I'm co-hosting Pickpongathon, which is this big challenge. I mean, I don't think I've ever participated. Well, I participated in challenges before, group challenges, but I'm a co-host, so I have to make quite an effort this month. And I'm excited, but I will link everything you need to know about Crystal's Pickpongathon down in the description box below. Crystal's from Bond Book Review. She is a sweet, wonderful, amazing person. We have so many incredible booktubers that are co-hosting this. And on my team, we've got Ren, the Reading Ren, and Neva from Reading Neva. I'm very excited about our team. We have a small but mighty team. We have a lot of heart. So I know that we're going to do so well. And I'm very excited. This is just so fun, and I'm ready to get into it because my reading in July was, oh, before I forget about it, go check out all the information down in the description box below. I'll have everything listed there, and if you want to join, you can join now, but you have to join the Literary Pongsters. You can't join any other group. We won't have it. So anyways, I am really excited because I didn't have the best reading month in July. I did get stuff read, but I didn't have a lot of really high-rated books. I did have a few, and one of them that I just finished last night is Soul Eater by Mayne. I'll talk about this in a second, but I wanted to give you a review at the beginning of this video because I finished this last night, but I wanted to finish it before I started doing Pickpongathon. So I'm ready for some great reads in August. I'm ready to focus a bit on reading, although I've got a million other things I need to do, but I've got to show up for my team. And I know I'm not the fastest reader, but I'm gonna make this work in August. And I'm excited. I got a lot of books I'm really, really excited about. I guess I should tell you how I plan on vlogging for Pickpongathon before I get into anything. What I've decided I'm gonna do in the month of August is, aside from my audiobooks, I'm only gonna read one book at a time because I am known for starting to 20 million books and then not finishing any, or having a lot of books currently reading and then taking forever to get through those books because I'm reading 5 books at a time. And that's fine sometimes, but it hasn't been serving me lately. And this month, I just wanna focus on getting through books so that I can be a good teammate for my team. So I'm gonna do one book, one vlog. Kind of one book, one vlog. My audiobooks will just fit in wherever they fit in. So I will still be listening to audiobooks, but those aren't gonna be the main focus of this. So the first book I'm gonna be reading in the month of August is A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn, because I put this off for too long. As long as we're not over 49% of a book, we could have already started it. So I'm definitely not 50% of the way through this yet. So I can't wait to pick this up. I put it off because I knew that I could read it for Pickpongathon in August, and I had other books I needed to get done before the end of July, or at least I wanted to get done before the end of July. So this won't take me very long, I don't think. I'm just so excited about this series in general, and I have decided that this is the series that I'm going to use for Herkyed, the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. You have to do one series that's 4+ books, and this series has 9 books in it. So I've decided, because I've started this within the time period that Herkyed...
Does that work? It doesn't work. Is that what I decided? I have to restart it. I mean, I didn't start this after Herkyed started. I started this in June. So, do I need to restart this? Or do I need to pick a different series? Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'm just going to pick a different series because, you know, well, I would love to... No, I don't want to restart it. I don't need to just keep restarting things, Amy. You need to actually make it through books. Okay.
For Herkyed, I'll figure out a different series. Maybe it'll be this series, you know, because I did read this within the Herkyed time period. So I'll look and see how many books are in this series. There's at least 4, so this would work. So for Herkyed, you have to have 4+ books in a series and read the whole series throughout this challenge. And this might be a good one to do because I just started it, and I know that I'll want to read more. I might do that. Okay, so this isn't gonna work for Herkyed. Sorry, I just, whoop. That's the planning process. Anyways, for Pickpongathon, the prompt that this covers is first in a series. So this is the first book in a series, and it will work for that prompt. The way that Pickpongathon works is that you're counting the number of pages that you read. So for this, I don't necessarily need to get through a whole bunch of books, although I do need to read 9 separate books to fulfill the 9 separate prompts. And there are some extra prompts, although this doesn't work for the bonus prompts. But I do need to be counting how many pages I'm reading, and that's what actually gets us most of our points, I think, for this particular readathon. I should know better, right? I've been busy this last month, so all the details, I'll figure it out. This is about this woman named Veronica Speedwell, and she's a lepidopterist, and she wants to live her life as a free woman. Her caregiver passes away, and she's like, I'm gonna go be a free woman. And this is during the Victorian era, mind you. Traveling around the world looking for these rare butterflies and living on her own dime, making her own life. She likes to have illicit affairs and stuff like that, but she doesn't care because she believes in women's right to choose what they want to do with their bodies. And so she's definitely a woman not of her time. She is a woman later than her time. And that causes a lot of issues for certain people, but she doesn't care. She's just going to live the life she wants to live. Well, something happens at the very beginning of this. This older man comes and whisks her away because she's in danger of something. She doesn't know what. He refuses to tell her. But it has something to do with her mother, who she's never known. She got adopted by her aunts, or by these two women, when she was very young. They weren't her aunts. They were like nuns, if I remember. I don't remember. It's been a little while since I read it. Actually, talking about this is helping me remember what the book was about. Her care is kind of entrusted in this. He's also a naturalist like she is. She's a naturalist. She's a lepidopterist, but she's also a naturalist. He's a taxidermist. That's right. He's a taxidermist. And he has these unique ways of doing taxidermy. And he's very grumpy. And she's very much like, I don't need you. But at the same time, she doesn't know why she's in danger, and she doesn't have much of a choice. He's forcing her to stay with him because he doesn't understand what her deal is or why she's so important to this older man who rescued her. He's afraid to let her go because something has happened, and he doesn't trust her, and he doesn't want to let her go and then find out that she was the culprit or she was the reason for this thing happening. And she sort of goes along with it too because she's very curious about her mom, who she never got to know. She wants to know who her mom was, information about her, what's going on in this situation that's causing these things to happen that have something to do with her mom. They're forced in proximity, and it's already just so fun. The humor and the wit, the writing is really just well done in this. And I love the banter between these two. It is so good. And the action and adventure of this already is fantastic. So there's so much going on. It's so much fun. I can tell already I'm going to love this series, and I can't wait to continue on in this. So very, very fun. A Curious Beginning, that is where I'm starting. As far as where I'm at in everything else, I did finish this last night. I stayed up late to get this done so that I could start fresh today with A Curious Beginning. And I'm going to give Soul Eater by Lily Mayne 4.25 stars. I really enjoyed this male romance monster smut book. And the only thing I really have to compare this with, because the only series that I've read ongoing that is monster smut is The Prime Mating Agency. What I can say, some of the differences between these two series, this is queer, so that's different. It also has a lot more smut. Like, there's a lot more smut, but it is written so well. I really thought it was great, although I'm not one to tell. I think it was written well for a female audience. I don't know about a queer audience, I'm not sure, but I thought that it was written really, really well. It was very good. There was a lot of it, way more than in Prime Mating Agency. So if you're not looking for that type of book, don't read this series. Because it is a very prominent part of this book, which I really enjoyed. But that is part of the reason why maybe I wouldn't give it a 5-star, although I did really like where it went. I felt like the plot was so meandering for a good portion of this, and then at least half of it, the plot was just, there wasn't much plot. There was a lot of repetition in some of the things they were doing, what was going on, and that wasn't a problem necessarily, but it didn't give me as much plot as maybe I wanted. Until the second half of this, where I thought the plot really took off. We got to know some other characters. We got to see a lot of action. There was a lot going on. And so I can see the potential in this. I can see that I'm going to love this series and really enjoy going forward with it. This book was fantastic. I'm still giving it 4.25 stars, which is a high rating for me, but it wasn't quite the 5-star that I, maybe thought it was going to be. But I do like the writing a lot. I like the characters, love the characters. The characters were fantastic. There was a lot of sweetness and romance in this, and that is similar to The Prime Mating Agency, because that one, I Married a Lizard Man, those books, those are very romantic and sweet, and it's all about love. And this is very much the same thing, but there are some incredibly brutal scenes in this. Like, beware going into this, especially towards the end. There is some torture and stuff like that. So if that is something that will trigger you, it is heavy. It's heavy in this book. So please be aware of that going into this. I do recommend this though. If you love monster smut, if you love male-male romances, I thought this was fantastic and I can't wait to continue on the series. In fact, I've already met the character of the next book and I love him. So I'm like, yay! I'm very, very excited to continue on. I don't know when that'll happen, but it'll probably be sooner rather than later because these are really fast, fun reads, and I could see just wanting to break from something else, picking this up. Kind of like I do with the Prime Mating Agency. Every once in a while when I need a break from what I'm currently reading, I'll just pick up one of those books, and I can see the same happening for this series. So right now I'm just drinking my coffee, had some breakfast. We went to the gym this morning, and it was great catching up with Jordan because I've been gone for a whole month. So we just chatted and didn't exercise hard, but it just felt good to be walking because I've been driving for the last 3 days and getting my body active again. And we have big plans for being active this month and well, going forward in general. So I am excited about what August is going to bring, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I have plans today to work on, I'm applying for a job in a school district that's nearby. And there is a specific leave replacement job that's half a year, 5th grade, and that's my perfect grade. Any opportunity right now that's not just substitute teaching would be good. And it would be a half year job. So that would be great because then I would have like a half a year where I get to just stay with the same class. So I got to apply for that. And then we need to get a storage unit. We're going to be doing a lot of work on things, especially my room, like demolishing part of my room and getting a lot of stuff done. We have big projects in mind, and they're not going to all get done right away, but we need to start getting them done here in August. So first things first, we need to get a storage unit so that we can put all our stuff in all the places into that storage unit, and then we can start working on clearing things out. So I'm just letting you know because this is what my life is going to be like. Pretty busy for the next month until school starts again. Oh, summer book bingo. I had decided that, and I will fill in something here with you. I was going to use, and I talked about this a lot, I was going to use Wuthering Heights for hot because the characters are so hot-tempered. But I still haven't finished Wuthering Heights yet. Surprise, surprise. And as much as I was enjoying it, I just didn't get to the books. That's why this month I'm reading one book at a time, and I'm going to finish each book. I'm not going to just keep starting books. I'm going to finish the books that I need to finish before I move on to the next one because last month, actually in June, I started a whole bunch of books and I haven't finished them yet. So we're not going to do that right now. But anyways, this book, as I mentioned, very, 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 very smutty. Great, great smutty. It was so good. And so that's going to work for my hot reading prompt really well, actually. So let me flip you around and I will fill this in. And it's not going to get me a bingo, but it's going to get me ever closer. If I read here, here. Yeah, I've got lots of places where I'm close to. Of course, it doesn't want to stay. Come on. This is what I get for being lazy and not wanting to set up my tripod in a different way. This is not going well. Oh, okay. Well, that's just not perfect, but that's okay. It's all right. Okay, so here it is. I need to read a book that has a sunset or has something to do with the sunset. I need to read a book that has a boat or has something to do with the boat. I will be getting to You're Invited. This is the next book I plan on reading after A Curious Beginning. And then I need to pick a new road trip book because I DNF'd that other one. So I'm getting places. I'm just not getting done right now. But that's okay because I'm getting closer. Also, if you know nothing about my book bingo, I will link the video where I introduced this. It was from my June vlogs, and it's something I'm doing for this summer. This is something I just made up and that I'm doing activities and books, and I've been working through it. I have until September 21st because Mom was looking at when the spring equinox is and when the fall equinox is, and apparently the fall equinox is on September 22nd. So we technically only have it through the 21st, I think. That's what Mom said. So June 20th through September 21st is when this bingo board is working, and I get rewards, and I still have my 2 rewards that I've earned already that I haven't done yet. At some point we need to do a food tasting, And that'll be easy and fun to do. Maybe we'll go cheese tasting or something. And then we need to do an escape room, which I know we're all excited about. Jordan has a cross-stitch night that we're going to be doing. I think that's the only one she's gotten so far, but I'm not positive. Mom has a nerdy game night. We're probably going to play WoW, maybe set up our computers and play World of Warcraft. Or we've been interested in getting into Dungeons and Dragons, D&D. So maybe that. But probably we want to play World of Warcraft. It's been a long time since we gamed. And then she got another one. What else did she get? Oh, berry picking. So we got to find a place to go berry picking. And this time of the year, it's blueberries. Although blackberries will be coming up soon. Actually, they come up like end of August. So if we don't get to the blueberries, which would be nice, we should go blueberry picking. But if we don't get to that, we'll be doing blackberry picking at the end of August for her prompt, because the other berries are done. Strawberries are done, raspberries are done. It's got to be blueberries or blackberries at this point. So those are some of the rewards that we need to do that we haven't done yet. So we're very excited to get our rewards going and actually enjoy the fruits of our labor this summer and enjoy summer, because that's a big part of this, is just getting out and doing more summery things. It was kind of like TBD, to be do. What? To be done for the summer? To be do. It was things for us to do during this summer, and I'm very excited that we've been doing a lot of fun things. You know, we've been getting the activities in, which are the green ones. We've been getting reads in that have to do with these summery words, and now we're going to get to do some of the rewards, which also have fun / summer / relaxation aspects to them. So that's that. I will link everything you need to know for Herkiad in the description box down below. And so I just wanted to give you an update because I've been gone. In fact, all my Book Love is Blind dates, I did go on one date, but I didn't really get a chance this last month to go on any other dates. So I need to be going on some dates. We'll see how this month goes. I'll take you along on the journey and hopefully get things accomplished. Okay, so I wanted to do another update about Herkiad because I made the decision, and my best friend is right. It's called the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do for a reason, and it will make a difference to me if I don't treat it like the hardest reading challenge that I've ever done. So I am going to still double up, but I'm not going to use a book for more than 2 prompts. So I'm not going to use the purple books to my best advantage, because I was like, oh, I'll just use a book for as many prompts as I possibly can as long as they're the purple books. But then that kind of takes away the fun of the challenge. And so I will only be using a book for 2 prompts. It can be 1 purple prompt and 1 white prompt, or 2 purple prompts, but it cannot be for any more than 2 prompts, at least for me. And so right now, because I updated the Briar Club and Soule Eater on here. In fact, I was able to put Soule Eater for my book in a series. I also used that for a book with a white cover. Where did I put that? Soule Eater has a predominantly white cover, so I used it for that. And then for the Briar Club, I used it for my new release in the month of July. And one of the things that I had discovered about the Briar Club while I was listening to it was that it has recipes in it. So once I get a copy of the book and start doing some of those recipes, I'll be able to count it for the read a book that has recipes in it. So then you get a point for the book and you get a point for the dish. Oh, I can put the book in though. Guess I didn't realize that those were 2 different things. The book and the dish were completely separate. So I've read the book. Now I need to get a copy of it so that I can make some of the recipes and then count the dish. Okay, so having added that, now I'm at 7.14% done with my challenge. Still nothing here finished, but you know, I am filling things up. Okay, so I don't have, oh, look how pretty the thistle is. I didn't even notice it was right behind me. Isn't that gorgeous? I applied and did everything I could do for that one job. I went to a doctor appointment because I've scheduled a whole bunch of appointments since I came back from my trip. We have set up our rent and stuff for a storage unit, so that's done. We need to start moving stuff, but that won't happen today. And figured out some financial stuff. Like I'm getting stuff accomplished, and it feels really good. Oh, I've set up some sprints for Pickpongathon. I've kind of planned some of the things I need to do for that. It's like one of those days, you know, where you feel like you're just getting one thing after the other thing done. And I love those days. So I'm feeling great about that, but I do need to do some reading. So I just took Cece out for a little bit of a break, and now I'm going to go in and read for 30 minutes at least. because then we have to go do some running around. I started reading A Curious Beginning while I was waiting at the doctor's office. Reading at the point where I left off, and I'm just so excited to be getting back to this book. It's so fun. It's just so fun. The chemistry between these two main characters, Veronica and Stoker, like the chemistry is it's so good. So I can't wait to move forward in this and see what happens next, because it's not just about the chemistry, it's about the mystery and all the different things that are happening within it. And I love the pacing of this. I feel like I've read a lot of books that are similar to this, that have this quirk, have the mysterious element to it, but are like set in an historical era like this. Like there's quite a few books that are similar in ways to this one. But the pacing on this and the characters and everything, the way it's being done in this one is perfection. It's just really good so far. Guess who else is excited that I'm home? Are you excited, Isaac? Are you excited? Yeah, he's happy. He's happy. Cece's like, oh, you can't pet him and not pet me. I know, I gotta pet both of you at the same time. It's really hard to do, you know. How am I supposed to read with you here, huh? I know. Oh dear. Okay, get comfortable. Jordan got a new apartment, and we got a little housewarming gift for her. Cute little cookie jar. Sorry for the noise. Oh, I can't open it. I don't know if I specifically already mentioned this, but as I'm reading through this, I just want to say how well written the dialogue is. The dialogue is fantastic, which creates this chemistry between these two characters. Not just attraction chemistry, but just like chemistry, personality chemistry. You can tell these two are suited to each other because of how well the dialogue matches. The way they spar with each other, the way they talk to each other, there's so much cleverness there. And there's an understanding between these two people who don't really know each other that well, and yet they get each other really well. You know, they understand each other even when they're fighting or arguing or having misconceptions about the other person. There's still an underlying sense of knowing with these two. And you get a lot of that from the dialogue, which I just love. So I'm a blast. I'm having so much fun with this one. Are you two crazy kids ready for bed? Look at them in their little beds. Look at Isaac in his little bed.
Isaac's always stuck in there. She grabs the purple one.
Look at, I know, the purple bed is the best. It's the softest. And Cece always steals it first, and then Isaac gets stuck in the pineapple, which is cute, but it's not as soft. All right, good night, you crazy kids. So at this point, I can't tell you what's going on in the book, but I can say that I am currently on, I'm going to read a little bit before going to bed, but I'm currently on page 219. So I'm making some pretty good progress today, considering I've been doing a lot of other things as well. At this point, they're doing a lot of running around. You know, there's a lot of having to run around. There's a lot of really well-paced action in this. But yeah, they're trying to evade rumors and suspicious stuff that's happening, and they're wanted for things. Like, it's just a lot of things happening, and they're trying to run away from it all, but also trying to figure things out because they don't know what's going on. They don't know why things that have happened. So trying to put their detective brains to work as well. And in the meantime, having incredible banter. Good morning. It is the second day of, it's the second day of August, the second day of Pickpongathon, and I didn't make that much progress yet this morning on this because I did go have a doctor appointment, just a lab appointment, and I sat there for a couple of minutes and read. So I'm currently on page 230, but they pulled me in pretty quickly, and I haven't had a chance to read this yet because I was editing, trying to get out my July 23rd, 24th vlog. And that is rendering right now, so that's great. But I wanted to tell you really quickly about the audiobook that I'm listening to. So I have picked up Jade Shards, which is this short story collection by Fonda, and it is part of the Green Bone Saga. It's the 0.75 book. And to finish the Green Bone Saga completely, to finish that series, I have these 2 final books to read, and I'm going to listen to them on audiobook. So Jade Shards is the short story collection, and then there is a novella called The Jade Center of Janloon, I think is what it's called. So I think those are the next 2 that I'm going to try and get to and listen to those so that I can finish out the Green Bone Saga series completely. And so the very first story in this is about Aitmata, and Aitmata is our big villain, our villainess in the Green Bone Saga. So we're hearing about her youth, something that's happening in her childhood, and it's just, I haven't read that far into it yet, but it's just, these are little short stories. So I don't think they're going to give us too much, but they might give us some insight into these characters and their personalities. And then a lot of the other main older characters, I don't think it's any of the younger characters in the Green Bone Saga, we get these little short stories about parts of their life, I'm guessing prior to the happenings of the Green Bone Saga series. So once I get Jade Shards done, and I've got like less than 3 hours left because it's a short one, I will be able to count this for Pickpongathon, at least for the extra credit points, like this is a BIPOC author. So I'm going to count it for BIPOC author, and it's not really meant for any of my 9 prompts, or at least I didn't have it slated for any of my 9 prompts. If I end up using it for those, that's great too, just get those done. I've already got other books planned for those 9 prompts, although then it'll give me an opportunity to move on to the 10 prompts if I can. There's no way I'm gonna finish the 9 prompts, knowing me. But I will look at this once I complete it and see if I wanna substitute this in for one of the other books I planned for one of the other 9 prompts. Because yeah, it makes sense for me to try and get as many of the 9 prompts done as quickly as possible, so then I can always get more points later on for other things. The other thing I would like to read in the next day or 2, and this will give me 100 points because graphic novels go for 100 points no matter how many pages they are. And this is 8 Billion Genies by Charles Soule and Ryan Browne. I have never heard of this before, but this was my surprise selection from the library. Every 2 months, 3 months, the library sends me a surprise selection, just a book they think I might be interested in, and they give me a little bit of reason why. I don't know where the thing is, so I can't really tell you. I lost the thing, but it's a graphic novel, and so I figured I could probably get through this pretty quickly and get some extra points for my team, because I'm not a very quick reader, so I have to figure out a way to get extra points for my team here and there. Plus, the other thing is that this is past due at the library, so I need to read it and get it back to the library so somebody else can read it, although I don't think anybody's waiting for it, so at least there's nobody on hold waiting for it. So I'll let you know when I get a chance to start reading this, any updates I have for this, any fun things. What am I doing today? My to-do list. I've got to water the plants, indoor and outdoor. We need to go to Costco and buy a dolly so we can start getting prepared to start moving stuff into that storage unit. Live show for BookStara today at 5. Very excited for it. Can't wait to talk about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I am very interested in what this conversation is going to be about. We're going to be like, and what we're going to, agree or disagree on. So it'll be fun. Dolly has been acquired. So has Costco had. I imagined it with the Briar Club. So now I can make the recipes from this to work for her kid. And Mom's excited because she wants to read it too. We also call them hand trucks. What do you call those things that help move furniture where you're from? Because it's one of those things that I think has different names wherever you are. Okay, so it has been a wonderful evening. I had a great live show with Danielle and Paige. We had such a fun time talking about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So if you have read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and you'd love to hear some of our discussion, I will link that video up here. It was on Paige's channel, and we talked about a lot of other stuff as well, but that's what we tend to do. So, yeah, if you're interested at all. And if you'd like to join BookStara, there's always time. We are reading the whole A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. The next one we'll be reading is, what is the next one? It's in September. We'll be reading the next book number 2 in September. I've been doing a lot more editing. I'm ready to put up another video for tomorrow morning, hopefully, if I get it. Yeah, I still have time to get it up tonight. Didn't do any more reading this evening of A Curious Beginning because we chatted on the live show for we chatted for quite a while live, and then we chatted for a little while after that. So spent a lot of time catching up, and that was wonderful. And I'm currently on page 261 of this, and 28% of the way through with Jade Shards, the audiobook that I'm listening to for the Greenbone Saga. The first story was about Aitmata and a relationship she had when she was younger, with not like a romantic relationship, but a friendship relationship. And the tie-in with some of the other characters, like I didn't realize, and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, oh, this is who that person is. I really liked that little tie-in. I thought it was very clever. And the second story now seems to be tying in, not necessarily like time frame exactly with the first story, but is tying in some of the characters that I thought were an interesting addition to that first story. So I'll be interested to hear a little bit more about this particular story. It seems to be about Lon, who is the pillar of no peak. And Lon is one of my favorite characters, and I'm always interested to hear a little bit more of his experience. So we're getting his story next, and I am looking forward to it. The first one was good. It was interesting, and I loved the tie-in. It wouldn't have been interesting enough without that, like the connection we have with this other character. And what's really cool about this particular short story collection is that in between each story, Fonda Lee is explaining why she created these little stories, and it's talking a little bit about her process of thinking about these characters and how she wanted to move forward and why she wanted to make this particular story. Why did she need to create this short story for this character? What's the significance of it? One thing we started last night was, at the very end of the day, I thought it would be a nice thing for us to do, and who knows how long we'll do this for, but a nice thing to do to stop and think about 5 things that felt good about the day, that felt successful about the day, that felt happy about the day, 5 things that felt like, okay, I did this and I feel good about it, or I feel positive, like positive things that happened for the day. And it's things like, I got to catch up with Paige and Danielle today while we were doing the live show, and then afterwards we chatted for quite a bit. It was just fun to have that catch up because we didn't really get to chat. Well, they got to chat last month, but I was away, so I haven't had a chance to talk with them. So like, that's a positive thing. And then I brought that violin back to the violin shop that I was renting, that I was kind of not afraid to bring back, but I broke the bow on it and I was afraid of how much it would cost. And it ended up not being as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I got that done, and it's no longer weighing on me, and I'm no longer paying the rent for it. So that's like awesome. And then I watered all my plants outside. That felt really good, just to get them properly hydrated, my poor plants. Oh, and then one thing I did was that I went to Costco and I got these little things replaced on here because the metal inside of them gets oxidized and they turn green and ugly. And because I got my glasses at Costco, they repair them, they fix them, they just replace them with no problem. I mean, honestly, they probably would do it for people who don't actually buy their glasses there. They're just kind of something you go and you take a number and they repair the little things. They replace little things on your glasses. So that was great because I hate that when it gets all nasty. And you know, this is a important part of my face nowadays because I wear glasses all the time. And let's see, finally, what was the last thing that I want to share? I edited a lot today. I put a video out and I've got another video that will hopefully go up tomorrow morning. So, I mean, I did actually a lot of other things as well today, but those are 5 things that felt good. And I actually have more than 5 things, but the goal of this is to just reminisce about 5 positive things at the end of the day, because it's so often that I spend time going, well, I didn't finish this, I didn't get this accomplished, I didn't do this. I do that a lot. I'm infamous for it, especially in my own head. I don't like spend time telling everybody else how much of a failure I am at certain things. I don't like that I spend time thinking about what I didn't accomplish. I want to think and focus on the things that I have accomplished and be proud of them and feel good about them. And I think if I do spend more time thinking about the positives, I will overall be a happier person, or at least feel like I've had more positive moments in my day-to-day life. That's my goal. And we'll see if it's true. Mom and I are enjoying it. Jordan loved it. We chatted with her for a while about her 5 things, and she just felt like, oh, I'm so glad we did this. So it was a good thing. So if you'd like to let us know in the comment section down below 5 things that you felt really good about today, let us know. We would love to hear it. I'd love to hear your positive things. So I'm going to finish this video, editing it, getting it posted. I'm going to read this until I fall asleep. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day. So I don't know how much reading I'll actually get done because we're helping Jordan move into her new apartment. Or at least finish moving all of her stuff into her new apartment. So yeah, it's gonna be busy, but I will take you along where I can. and hopefully I will get this finished. I'd like to get this finished tomorrow. And if not, then maybe I can listen to Jade Shards some more and get that done. Oh, I am getting a tire patched tomorrow because I have a nail in one of my tires. So during that, I don't know how long it'll take. I'll definitely bring this with me and maybe I'll be able to get a good chunk of this done while I'm waiting for them to do that. Well, that's rendering. I'm gonna start this one. 8 Billion Genies by Charles Soule and Ryan Browne. Ooh. Good morning! It is the 3rd of August. And I did start this last night, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. I'm a quarter of the way through it. It doesn't actually have page numbers, so I don't know. I'm right there. And this is a strange graphic novel. It's called 8 Billion Genies because we start off at this bar where there's this like drunk dad. His son is trying to get him to go home. There's the bartender who's a bit of an enabler, but he's kind of a hard ass. Then we've got a band of 3 people who's supposed to play that night, but they're thinking, oh, there's not going to be a lot of people here tonight. Our followers aren't going to make it out here. And then we have this Chinese couple that doesn't speak English, they speak Mandarin, and they are searching for a different bar, and they end up at this bar. So we're at this bar, and then all of a sudden, every single person on the planet gets their own genie, and they get to have one wish. So that's why it's called 8 Billion Genies, because there are 8 billion people. And it starts out like 8 billion people with 8 billion genies at moment 1 when in this story. And then it goes like 7,999,000 people and however many fewer genies like 2 minutes in. And then each section is kind of broken up into how far along we've gone since genies have appeared and how the world has changed since then and what people are doing with their wishes. And these people within this bar are safe because the bartender makes a very wise wish right at the beginning, and it's protecting the people that are within the bar. Throughout the beginning of this, we're starting to learn a little bit more about the people at the bar. We're also getting to learn a little bit more about why these genies, actually we don't know why the genies are there because they won't tell, but we're learning more about what the genies are doing, and they are telling the people in the bar some of the things that are happening around the world. And we're kind of getting this glimpse of all the ridiculous things that people are wishing for with their one wish. And it also means that the population has gone down significantly in the world very quickly within the time frame. It's very fantastical, and you can tell that people are making these incredibly strange and horrible wishes with their one wish. So that's basically what the story is about, and I'm guessing we're going to learn more about the people within this bar. We're going to see more about what people are wishing for outside of the bar, and I think it also is going to show us like a timeline in a sense of this is what people do at first when they have a wish, any wish that they could make. These are the kind of people that will wish for things like this, but then later on as time goes, you've got people who are maybe a little more logical or a little more thoughtful, making different types of wishes. And so it's strange. It's really strange. I am a little intrigued. I don't know how much I'm going to love this graphic novel. I've always struggled a little bit with graphic novels, except for like Heartstopper and some of the other ones like that. It's the lack of a full fleshed out story. You get little snippets here and then you have to supplement that with all the imagery, and that's great, but for some reason that's a little harder for my brain to fully enjoy. And so graphic novels can be hit or miss for me, and it's not necessarily the graphic novel's fault. It's my brain's or my lack of experience with comics and graphic novels that tends to be the case. But this is interesting. It's dystopian, it's post-apocalyptic, and so I will be curious to see how the world shifts throughout this story. Cece says, good morning. Hello, baby. Well, I've been gone a month, and Aunt Nancy's garden has taken off. This is her herb thing. parsley? No, celery. She's leaving in this little white truck to Alderwood. We got Jordan all packed up. Mom's ready. Jordan is getting ready. And we're gonna head on over to a new place. Time for a little baton twirling. Okay, it is late in the evening and I have officially completed my first book for Pickpongathon. And I have officially completed A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn, the first book in the Veronica Speedwell series. And there were a lot of times while I was reading this that I was thinking, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. And for some reason, towards the end, the pacing of it actually slowed down a little bit. Even though the action picked up, the pacing slowed down a little bit for me. And not in a horrible way, but in a way where I'm like, is this 4.75 stars? Like, it's one of those things where I can already tell by how much I'm loving the characters and loving what's going on in this first book that probably everything going forward is going to be a 5 star. This particular book, like, just straddled that line between a 4.75 and a 5 star for me. And if I really think about it, especially how I was feeling about it towards the end, as much as I was still loving all the aspects of it, it did kind of go out of that 5 star rating. I hate rating things. It just doesn't feel right. With the knowledge that this series is going to be a 5 star series for me, I'm so looking forward to continuing on. I love the chemistry between Veronica and Stoker, and more than just their, like, hints at some romantic chemistry. I love their working chemistry and I love their banter. It's fantastic. I love their brains. I love how in tune they are on both a professional level as well as partnerships in this adventure they're going on. And I just think it's so cleverly done. It's so clever. It's so fun. This is probably one of my favorite books of this type, like intelligent British female of the yesteryear who solves some mysteries with a handsome partner, and there's a series of it. I mean, I feel like I recently read 2 similar style books like this and I loved them just as much, but I think this has been my favorite. So I'm thinking of The Parasol Protectorate, which is more steampunk, Victorian era. This is the Victorian era? I feel like, I don't remember exactly what era this is. This is also Victorian, but that one is more supernatural, whereas this one's not supernatural, but it has similar vibes to it. And I've been really enjoying that series as well so far, except the second book pissed me off to no end. So am I going to continue that series? Yes, I will, but I'm going to do it begrudgingly. And then we've got the Lady Hardcastle series, which doesn't have the steamy romance in it, but it has that same amazing chemistry between main characters, the brilliant British women solving mysteries. Like, it's a similar thing. And with the Lady Hardcastle series, I really enjoyed the first 3 books or so, but it wasn't until like the 4th book that I ended up getting a 5 star and just like absolutely loving that series. There's a similar feeling, vibe, theme that goes across these mystery series, and I love it. I totally love it. I will read all kinds of books like this. So basically the rest of the story is really trying to figure out what is going on, what are the secrets in Veronica's past, who is chasing them down, her and Stoker, what the bigger story is, and who the players are in this bigger story. And it's thrilling, it's exciting, it's not necessarily the most convoluted and interestingly plotted mystery, like the actual mystery itself, but so much of the story is that's not as necessary in this one, I think, because you're loving the characters, you're loving the adventure, you're loving the action, And the setting is fantastic. The writing is really good. I like the writing on this one especially. Deanna Raybourn does a really good job of being descriptive enough without being too descriptive that it slows the pacing down too much in this, because it really is meant to convey the action of what all the things that are going on. Give me your thoughts. What did you think about the Curious Beginning in the description box down below? I want to know, you know, how you felt about it. And for people who didn't love it as much, what could it have done better? Or have you read other books that are like this that you actually liked more, that are this similar theme of, you know, brilliant British woman of yesteryear solves mysteries with a companion and they have great chemistry of some sort, whether it's romantic or friendship. It's a thing. It's a thing. And I love it. So this is going to work out for my summer book bingo, because I had originally said that because it has like a circus element to it, I feel like that works for fairs because they travel like a fair does. They have concessions like fairs do. Plus there is an event in this that happens that's the Queen's Jubilee. And that is also kind of feels like a fair in the sense that there are concessions as well. There's a whole bunch of things happening. There's a big celebration. There's parades. And I feel like that works really well to act as a fair. And the reason I put fairs on here is because I think of different events that happen during the summer, traveling events that happen during the summer, or, you know, like the fair in our area, the county fair isn't a traveling thing, but oftentimes fairs can be traveling, or carnivals are traveling. And so that's what I mean by fairs. I also mean circuses. Like we went to the circus this year. Like those kind of things tend to happen more so in the summer. And that's why I added it to my summer book bingo. So I do think this is a perfect representation of what I was going for the fairs prompt. So I'm going to count that, and it won't give me a bingo yet, but let's do that and see how far we're coming along with my summer book bingo. Okay, so A Curious Beginning is my book prompt for fairs. And I still haven't figured out what book I'm going to now use for road trip. And I know that there are tons and tons of options. I just haven't thought about it because I'm not really prioritizing that at the moment. And it gets me a little closer in this direction as well. So I do have the Shell Collector waiting for me at the library. So that one I'm hoping to pick up in the next day or so. I haven't really thought about what book I want to use for boat. So not going to get any bingos right away. And then for the activity, I'm actually working the fair because my aunt, she has show goats. And so I usually help out at the fair because she has a 4-H group where they work with pygmy goats. And we're also going to the Renaissance Fair in 2 weeks. So that's going to work for that as well. So I've got that one coming up very soon. We're hoping to play croquet. We've never played before, but we have a croquet set. And for my cousin's housewarming party. Okay, so since I already talked about what prompt this works for, this has completed one of my prompts from my team, first in series. Going forward, I'm not going to mention the prompts that my books are fulfilling because I need to be more strategic. And I wasn't even thinking about it. But this works for that prompt. And I need to update my series. I need to update my series thing. So let me do that now because this is a good time to do it now that I have another series to add to it. Okay, so as we know, this is my series tracker. Well, you may not know, but this is my series tracker. And when I have either DNF'd a series or completed a series, I highlight it in blue. So I have a lot of series. I'll have to count them at the end because this isn't an accurate number of how many I have right now. I don't have 106. I have 106 minus the ones I've DNF'd or completed. So let us figure out where we were last. So I have read the Thursday Murder Club and marked that. Let's see. And then I did update the Greenbone Saga. I'm currently working on the first of the 0.5 books. And let's see, Changeless, which is the Parasol Protectorate. I haven't updated that yet. So I read the second book.
In that series, then the
Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That's not on here. Okay. I have started and will be finishing this year, luckily, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder because it's the BookStara read-alongs book. Good Girls. I'm just going to put Good Girl's Guide. And in that series, let's see what we got total. I think we just have the 3 books and then a little 0.5 book, but let me just double check. Killjoy is the 0.5 book. We've got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Good Girl, Bad Blood, As Good as Dead. Okay, so I've got that. And I have finished the first book, Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And then I just recently started the Monsters series. The first book in that series is Soul Eater. Well, you'll know about that because I did that review.
Monstrous. And let's see how many books are in that one. I think it's 9 or 7. How many are here? 1, 2, 3. There's a 0.5. 4, 5, 6, 7. There's another 0.5. 8 so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One of them's not out yet.
But I've got that. Then Veronica Speedwell. I've got my first Veronica Speedwell book done. So now let's see what my current ongoing series number is.
Okay, so 108 minus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21.
87 series I currently have ongoing. And I'm always just adding more and not finishing other ones. I'm terrible at this. Yeah, 87 series. It's okay. Oh well, what are you gonna do? One of these days I'll get to some of these older ones and complete them. One of these days. My series are updated. My bingo board is updated. I haven't made any progress on Jade Shards, which is the audiobook I'm listening to. That's the 0.75 book for the Greenbone Saga. And I haven't read any more of this today yet, but maybe tonight I'll read some more of 8 Billion Genies. And I think that's it for now. I'm very excited about how our team is doing for Pickpongathon so far. We don't know any updates. We don't know how many points we've made so far. I think a lot of people are making great progress. I wish I was making a little more progress, but you know, I'm not the fastest of readers. I'm here for my charming personality, clearly. And I'll do whatever I can. So luckily I've got a nice little short audiobook that I'm working on and the graphic novel, which will count for 100 points. So anything is good at this point. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens during the rest of my Pickpongathon journey. I feel like there's a lot of twists and turns that even us hosts don't necessarily know what's going to occur when they happen. And so I'm really nervous about what's going to happen at the end of this week. Like, what do we have to face going forward? It's kind of scary, but very exciting. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.